So we've been praying about and thinking about some things that we want to talk about and get in, just have people share their experiences. And we know that many people out there have been through some pain with grief or depression, and sometimes both at different times, sometimes at the same time. And so we wanted to create a safe space where people can share their stories and their experience in the hopes that it could be some kind of comfort or help for others out there that maybe feel like maybe they're the only ones that are going through it in that way, or just could use a comfort from someone else that has been through it too. So today we're starting with a close friend, my BFF, and he's going to share some things with us. And I'm truly grateful for his vulnerability and just willingness to let the world hear what he's been through. So if you want to start by telling us what you're going to share today, or if you want to share that after, but wanted to ask why you're sharing this now at this time.
Yeah, well, I think I'm in a good place to kind of just talk about what I've been going through the last 12 to 14 months. Different battles, different things that mentally, emotionally, that I've been going through, and I'm very grateful that I've kind of feel like I'm out of that hole that I've been stuck in, and it's a good time to talk about it, and maybe someone out there dealing with what I went through, to let them know that there's a chance. We all go through battles, and we all go through dark times, but was given time to the Lord, and with people that surround you, that support you, that love you, that pray for you, we can overcome anything that we're going through. And hopefully this conversation that we're having today could touch someone's life out there. And at the end of it, that's why we do this, and that's why I'm willing to put out there what I've been through. Might not get into complete details, but I just hope it's a blessing to someone.
Well, if you want to start talking about it, we're going to be talking about depression today. And when you think about it, like, what made you realize that you were depressed?
Yeah, I mean, I just know who I am, and I think people that have been through depression or might be going through depression, that you don't feel yourself. The stuff that you love to do, it just doesn't bring any joy anymore. It doesn't make you want to try to do the things you enjoy. And there was a time, this last couple months, that I didn't even want to live. I mean, I used to tell God, just take me. Like, there's no point of me being here. I just didn't have anything to look forward to. I haven't walked my daughter down the aisle, and I haven't been a grandpa, but I was fine with not doing that. I was at a point where it just felt like there was no reason for me to live. There was no reason for me to keep trying. There was no reason for me to wake up the next day. I was just at a point where I realized, like, man, why am I feeling like this? I'm a person that loves God. I'm a person that has a daily relationship with God. And even with me having that relationship, with God daily, I was struggling. I was dealing with, you know, the mind, could play tricks on you. It could, could bring things from the past, could bring hurt from the past, could bring, just situations that can make you feel like you're worthless. Even though I know I'm not. I know I'm a child of God, but I was at a point where I was feeling like I was no one. There was no point of me living, that no one was gonna miss me if I was gone, if I didn't wake up the next day. Just the things that go through your mind when you're dealing with it.
Yeah. And what would you say was the hardest part of living in depression? Either when you realized it or even before, if you think back now, like what?
Just not having a purpose. Feeling empty. Just so many different things, and I know, we all deal with different things. We're all battling with different ones, but yeah, I was struggling, trying to continue to be myself, someone that's always ready to be there for someone and ready to help people. But I was kind of like, just faking it. I literally was not happy.
So
And
you felt like you were hiding it a little bit from people?
yeah, I mean, for sure hiding it, because, I think as a man, and I think I posted this a while back, it was about, when men, it's hard to admit when you're going through something like this, and I think a lot as a Hispanic male, it's just, we're not trained to talk about your feelings or express what you're feeling or what you're going through with someone, because you feel like they're gonna judge you, or or you feel like someone's gonna say like, come on, can't be that serious, bro, like just get it together and move on, or just the things that sometimes you worry about is talking about what you're going through, because you just don't want to be judged, or you don't want to feel like they're looking at you as less of a man, or how can you help me if you can't even, if you're not even doing right? Just things like different things that cross your mind.
Yeah. And to what you were saying right now about not wanting to let people really know, like, why were you, besides getting judged, like, were you just afraid of telling people what you were going through all the time? Or did you finally reach a point where you were like, you know what, I'm just gonna...
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think where I got to a point where I feel like, I'm very honest with our kids, and I kind of started mentioning. I mean, they noticed I wasn't myself anymore, and I started telling them, opening up a little bit to them and to you as well at that time, where I just felt like I had to say something, because I was scared or worried about, it never crossed my mind to taking my life, but I had one of my close friends take his life last year, and I was just like, man, like that's crazy. Like I couldn't believe that, that would happen to someone that was always, laughing and having a good time, and at the same time, I realized that if someone that I knew like that was a good guy, great father, a great son, great friend, I just worry that I got to a point where, I would do something like that, just to say the heck was this. I'm just tired. I mean, that's how I was just feeling. I'm just tired. I'm tired of not sleeping, not feeling like myself, not feeling rested, not feel like doing anything. And it's just, it was hard, canceling on people at the last minute, not wanting to go to people's, get-togethers or, birthday parties, just Christmas. It was a struggle, and and I think I got to a point where I told the kids and you about what I was kind of going through. And I'm glad I did, because you encouraged me to talk about it, to reach out to other people, if I felt like maybe it was a conversation I could have with someone that I feel comfortable with, that was a guy, or
Someone you
and
trusted.
someone that I trust, and speaking to the kids and you, and man, it's a beautiful feeling, because my kids are grown, and I love being real with them all the time. And it was hard for me to tell them what I was going through, but I'm glad I did, because they were the ones that kind of pushed me to get therapy, and try this and try that, and they gave me their experience of when they've had gone through tough times, and what they did and what they tried, and the way they saw things. And they told me to be patient, like if I got a therapist that I couldn't connect with, that to keep looking, to keep trying. And I got I was blessed that the first therapist I started speaking to has been a blessing. It has helped me out a lot, you know to unpack a lot of the things that I've been carrying this past year, and a lot of things that I've been carrying all of my life. And it was a struggle, but I'm very, I'm grateful and thankful that I've decided to, kind of share it with you. And because I knew that you knew that something was wrong with me. I mean, I could hide it probably from my kids, from the kids, because I don't see them often, and I'll talk to them here and there. But someone that I'm with every day, and I know you noticed that something was going on with me. And I'm very grateful that you were patient with me, and you gave me my space when you felt like I needed it. And I know you prayed for me. You were always praying for me, and you were always just encouraging me and reminding me who I was, and to keep fighting. Because at the end of it, when you're in that deep hole, it's just, I'm a fighter, but I didn't want to fight anymore. I just wanted to give up. Like, I was like, I'm ready, Lord. I used to say all the time, I'm ready. Like, there's no point of me being here.
Yeah. And you mentioned something that that me giving your space and praying for you was something that helped you. Is there anything else that you would share with others that have a spouse, or maybe it's their close friend that they've noticed there's a possibility maybe they're just going through this same thing? Like, what else can we do on the outside to help you get through the journey? Because obviously we can't tell you exactly what to do, because there's nothing we can say that's going to change the situation for you. But what can us outside of what you're going through do to make it easier?
Well, I mean, of course, prayer, checking up on them, just loving them where they're at, even if you don't understand, even if it doesn't make sense. I mean, I realized what I was going through, because I have friends that I didn't know they were going through depression, but when I was going through it, it made sense why sometimes that it wouldn't show up, or why sometimes they would cancel at the last minute. And I always thought it was like, man, that's kind of weird. It's not the type of person that person is. But it just made me realize that, not that I didn't think depression was real. I know it's real. But it just reminded me that, like, there is things that you could see, and the way someone might talk, the way someone might change, that that they might be going through it. And I just feel like just checking on them, reaching out to them on regular text, or just and I know sometimes I know I do that. I'll reach out to my friends, because even before I was going through this, but because I wish sometimes I would get a random text. But sometimes people don't know. And I have a close friend that I kind of brought this up to, told him about what I was going through, and he was like, man, wish you would have told me. But that's the thing, is when you're going through it, you don't
Sometimes you
want,
don't want to
yeah,
tell
you don't
anyone.
want to tell anyone because you feel like you could do it on your own, but it's hard. I mean, I know I couldn't do it on my own. I know I couldn't. I tried because I've gone through something like this when I went through my divorce. You know, and I kind of feel like I did go through it. You know, I still had people there that they didn't realize that they were helping me. Like, when I met someone at the apartment, he would invite me to his apartment to watch games and to eat, and just things like that. That person didn't even know that was helping someone that was going through that.
Um, what would you say to someone listening right now that is struggling with depression? What would you tell them?
That I know how you're feeling. I know what you're going through, but you have to talk to someone. And I know it's something that it's been going on for years, and people are, there's a lot of commercials or things here and there and about mental health, but sometimes, we just don't feel like anyone can help us. And I just want to say that's a lie. Having a conversation with someone can help. Reach out to someone you feel comfortable, someone that you know that it's gonna listen to you. Sometimes we just need someone to listen to us, not to tell us what we need to do. And of course, prayer, spending time with God. Like I said earlier, I was having a relationship with God every day, and I still felt depressed, and I still was going through my battles, and I still was doing my prayer instead of asking for things. Or I was just kind of telling them, just come get me already, Lord. Like, I'm ready. Like, there's no reason for me to be here. I'm ready to go. But just want to encourage you and to reach out to someone, reach out to us, reach out to someone that has gone through it. Because I think we can kind of help you in some kind of way. But just going back to what I said, prayer, having a relationship with God. But you have to have more than that. You have to have a good circle around you that is going to help you get through it.
Yeah. So we know that you've been through some losses this past year. Can you tell us how that affected, your depression, what your journey was through all of it?
Yeah, I mean, some of the people that kind of knew that I was going through something, they thought it started when, I lost someone in my life last year, but I was feeling this way before. And it's just, of course, when you lose someone that you love and that was so close to you, that's hard. And it doesn't help when you're already feeling depressed. I think it did add to it, to what I was feeling. It's just at a whole different level. You start questioning things. I think frustration and a little bit of maybe anger started creeping because some things don't make sense. It's hard to understand why. So many questions that I will never have answers to. So many decisions that I made that I question. And you start feeling guilty. you start feeling like you could have done more, you should have done more. And you add grief to depression. It's very, very, very hard, very dark place to be at. And just, I know people have gone through, just they lose someone they love and they go through depression. And mine was a little different. I think I was going through depression before I lost the people I lost in my life. And it was, like I said, it just felt like I was in a deep hole, and then that deep hole just started feeling was water. So it's not just in a dark, cold, lonely place, but now
You're drowning.
it's like a place where you just feel like you're not gonna make it, you're not gonna survive, you're not gonna overcome it. You start doubting. A lot of things come to your mind, doubt. Like I was saying earlier, man, it's just, you have to keep pushing. It's like, if you're drowning, you could give up trying to swim, yeah, and you're gonna die, or you keep fighting to survive.
And is there anything else that you want to talk through, or whether it be about grief or what your grief journey has been? And
Yeah, I guess, that's tough. I know you hear it all the time heals everything. In my journey, I've lost grandparents and aunts and uncles, but my loss was, someone that I had a daily relationship with, and someone that I used to see every day, every night. Man, it's hard. I have my moments, I have my days. Some days I miss them, and certain things, of course, it's like a daily thing that everything reminds you of them. If it's a song, if it's a movie, if it's a commercial, if it's a location you're driving by, and it's tough because I have to be careful not to let those moments put me back in that depression. And I'm learning was it, that it's okay to feel sad.
yeah,
It's okay to talk about it. I know I've told you so many things that, man, this reminds me of this, and this, and this, and I, again, I'm thankful that you just hear me out, because I think it's good to talk about it. It's good to mention their name, to keep their memory alive, even though they're not here anymore. But just seeing pictures, or just reminiscing of the good times, of the time you were spending time with that person, the time you got to celebrate their birthday, the time that they would just show up, and and you knew you could call that person and they'll show up, and just all the good things. That's something that I've been trying to practice, is to focus on the good things and not the things that bring pain or sadness, because again, I don't want to get back to that hole. And I just focus on the good things. I focus on the great memories, so many great memories, and also that I know one day I'll see them again. And that's something that when I was struggling to depression, that I was like, there's nothing for me to look forward to. And I flipped it and said, there is something I got to look forward to. And I know it might not make sense, because something to look forward to, see them again, is when I won't be here anymore. But it reminds me that I still have things to do. Reminds me that I'm still here. We're getting older, and sometimes, oh man, I hate getting older, but I'm like, no, I'm blessed that I'm still here. and I want to be a blessing, to anyone I can, and that's my passion, and I'm using grief and the pain to do things that I haven't done before, to reach out to people I hadn't reached out in years, or and just push myself to use grief into something positive.
Yeah. That's great. Well, thank you for sharing and for being open. I know it's hard to tell people, of I was struggling with this, because we do try to be strong, and there's a lot of times where, you're known as the motivator, as the positive one, as the one that's there for everybody. And when you're that person, it's hard to share the other side of ourselves, because we don't want to disappoint, or we don't want them to think that we're weak, or we don't want to lose a relationship because maybe I don't know, it's hard. So thank you for talking about what you felt, what you thought about, and the encouragement, for the people to reach out. And that's the main thing that we wanted to emphasize in these conversations, is that you're not alone. None of us are alone, and sometimes that is kind of hard, and to look through maybe your phone list and you're like, who can I reach out to about this right now? And but like was said, God first. Reach out to him and talk to God, and God understands us in so many ways. Jesus went through so many things that he can just relate to us. And I think when we approach God with a humble heart, completely surrendered and just honest, God, this is how I feel. You telling God, like, God, just take me. Like, that's kind of a hard thing to tell your creator. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. But God is so gracious and so loving and so kind that he hears us. And, be reminded, be encouraged, and know that we are a safe place for you too. And if you just want someone to listen, we will listen. If you want someone to give you their experience, we're happy to be that person for you. So thank you for taking the time to hear this, and we look forward to the next ones to come.